What's up everybody, this is Raw Deceptions, and today I'm going to show you how to build the Shulker library that I made over here. And I showcased this in my last video. If you want to check that out first, you can. But for now, let's show you how to build this one. Alright, so right here in front of me, I had the two main parts to the build. You have the station, which is here. And you have the module, which is here. So this module corresponds to how many shulkers you have in the system. So the version I have here could go from 1 to 15, and the version I have here could go up to 30. So this 30 version is just basically this 15 mirrored on the other side. So I have the 15 here, and then I just mirrored that again on this side. You can then mirror this again to make up to however many you want. You just got to keep adding more stations. So basically one station could hold up to 15 shulkers, and then you add another station, it will hold another 15, so I'll be 30. You add another station, it could do another 15, and so on and so forth. But for now I'm going to show you how to make one station and one module, and you could add this module over and over again up to 15. So this station, the inner part of this grid that I laid out here, it's a 8 wide by 7 long, and then this module here is a 1 wide by 17 long. So we're going to first start off by building the station. We're going to go up to this point here. So second in from there is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So here are the items you need. So this is going to be where our lectern goes. So we're going to put a lectern here, a temporary block there, block up there, and a block here. Remove this block here. We're going to have a comparative behind it, a block. Then we're going to have a piece of redstone here. Temporary block, put a block there. Sorry. Put a block there, and then a comparator there into another block. So you should have something like this. This is going to carry the signal from the lectern out towards the module. Next to the lectern, we're going to put a block here, a temporary block, a block there. Remove this one, put a button on this one. Then we're going to have a temporary block there, a block there, then a block here. Remove this one, and we're just going to follow this block down this way up to here. Now we're going to put a repeater into this one, this one, this one, and this one, and then put a redstone dust on here. This is going to be the signal to retrieve the shulker from the system. So this, you're going to have to vary the signal delay with these repeaters here. Depending on how far you have it, you'll have to set the delay accordingly. So for the system I have over here, for example, I have one repeater on delay of 1, and then the rest of these are on 4. I'm going to do the same thing here. So this is going to stay at delay of 1, and then this is going to be max of 4, 4, and 4. I'll explain why these are important in a bit, but for now, this is how I have it here. All right, now, so to the right of the lectern, we're going to have a block here, put a redstone lamp there. We're going to have a temporary block there, put a redstone lamp there. Remove that one, put an observer facing into that redstone lamp, and then put a block underneath like that. All right, so now next to this redstone lamp, we're going to put a slab on the top part here. We're going to put a temporary block, a block there, remove this one. Then we're going to put our sticky piston like this, have a space there. All right, next we're going to grab our piece of mud and put it next to the observer here. All right, in front of the mud, we're going to put a block with a pressure plate on there. Underneath that, we're going to put a temporary block, then a block again. Remove the middle one, put a redstone dust on there. All right, so then we're going to put a block here, temporary block there, a block there. Remove this one, put a redstone repeater into that one. Then we're going to grab our dropper, put it into this block facing us this way, like this. Then we're going to put a hopper facing into the dropper, like that. Then we're going to put a temporary block here. We grab our dispenser. We put the dispenser facing this way, like this. Remove this temporary block. And then on top of the dispenser, we're going to put 2 hoppers like this. All right, so now behind the dispenser, we're going to put a block here, a copper bulb here. We're going to put a temporary block there, put a block here and here. Remove this one. And this is where our comparator is going to be. Put a comparator there, then a redstone lamp here, the observer facing into that redstone lamp. All right, so now we're going to put a temporary block here, put a block here and here. Then we're going to put a redstone dust there, an observer facing into that redstone dust like this. You can remove this block, put a redstone dust here, then put a block into the dispenser like this. Next, we're going to put a temporary block here, put an observer facing into that temporary block. Remove this one, put a redstone lamp on top of this observer, then put an observer facing into that redstone lamp like this. Then put a redstone dust here, and then put a block on top of the piston like this. Then in front of the redstone lamp, we're going to put a block there with a button on it. All right, next we're going to put a temporary block here, put an observer facing into that temporary block. Remove that one, put a block here, here, and here. Then we put a repeater here, and then redstone dust up to there. Make sure the repeater is on the delay of 4. Then we're going to grab another observer, face into this observer, put a block down here, then a temporary block here, put a block there, remove this one. Then we're going to put redstone dust there. All right, so after this redstone, we're going to leave a 1 block gap there, put a block here, here, and then connect the two together. Then we're going to put a repeater facing out of this block there, and then put redstone dust, then a repeater into here with the delay of 4. So on this lectern, we want to put a book that has 15 pages on it. As you see here, that way each page has a signal strength of 1. So page 1 would be 1, so page 2 would be a signal strength of 2, and so on and so forth. So we're going to put that book on the lectern like this. All right, so that's basically the station built. This is your main control unit here. Now, after you built your station, there's a few things to know. All right, so this signal here from the lectern, as we follow along here, this is going to connect to this block here on the module. That tells you which module you want to select. And in this module, I have a total of 15, and right now it's on 1. So if I, for example, go here and select page number 5, for example, it then selects this one here, which is the 5th one. And then this line right here that connects to the button connects all the way up to here on the piston. And then this one selects which shulker to break and send it to the retrieval system. So with that information, you could extend this line here, for example. You could keep extending this one. Every other block will have a block above. You can remove these blocks here, for example. So you could extend this line here to go all the way up to where you're going to have your shulkers stored at. You just want to do alternating patterns. So you have a comparator there, a redstone here, a comparator there, and then so on and so forth. Just follow the pattern. This makes it a little bit cheaper. You could do comparators all the way. You can just do comparators all the way. So the only thing is, wherever you have a redstone wire next to this line here, you just put a block above it like this. That way the redstone doesn't connect to it, and just follow this line across like that. All right, so now I can leave this part to the end. I'll build the module next. So for the module, you just want to try to figure out where you want the shulker storage to be at, and then you can build from there. So the module is a total of 1 wide by 17 long, and here are the components you'll need to build one module. All right, so now let's take these items here. So I'm going to start building this module from this end here onto that way. That way it's closer to the storage. You can kind of figure out where you want the storage to be. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th block here is going to be where your shulker is going to sit. So you can kind of figure out where you want this to be exactly. But for now, we're going to start building from this corner here. So we're going to have 2 temporary blocks. 1, 2. We can put a bulb on top of here and remove these 2 here. Then we're going to put a observer facing into the bulb like this, and then a piston on top with a temporary block, and then a block above that, and remove this one. Then we're going to put a temporary block underneath the bulb, put a block there, remove this one, and go out 2 more. And then we're going to put a redstone repeater facing that way, leave a space, and another redstone repeater facing this way. Then a temporary block here, here, and here. Remove these 2, put a sticky piston on there, and remove that block there. Then we're going to put an observer facing into this block here, put a sticky piston on the back of that there, and in here we put a stair like this. Then we put a temporary block underneath the stair, grab the mud, put it here, remove this temporary block there, then put a temporary block here and here, remove this one, grab the hopper, place it into that block like this, and remove this block here. All right, so now we're going to put a block here, a dispenser facing this way, a hopper on top of that dispenser like this, and then a mud on top of the hopper. Okay, then we're going to put a block here, put a comparator coming out of the dispenser like this, put a temporary block here, remove these 2, put an observer facing into that block, remove this one, then put a repeater facing into the mud like this. Next, we're going to put a temporary block here and here, remove this one. We're going to put a sticky piston on here, remove this block here, then put an observer facing this way like this. Then we're going to put a temporary block here, here, and here, remove these 2, put a piston facing down like this, and remove this block. Then we're going to put a redstone block on the bottom of the piston here like this. Next, we're going to take a redstone lamp, put it on the back of this observer here. Then we're going to put a stack of 3 observers, 1, 2, 3, facing up towards the lamp. Then we're going to put a bulb on the bottom here. Then we're going to put an observer facing into that bulb like this, a sticky piston, and then a redstone block. Next, we're going to put a block here, a redstone torch there, a block on top, another redstone torch, another block, and then a redstone torch facing the piston like this. Next, we're going to go down 4 on a diagonal, which is going to be like this. So it's going to be 4 in a diagonal like this. We're going to put a redstone torch on the back of this one. Then we're going to have a repeater here and here. Then we're going to put a block on top of this repeater here, and then a block in front of it, and then a temporary block here. Put a block there, remove this one. So you're going to have 3 in the diagonal. And then we're going to come out 1, and then 1 temporary block. Put a block there and remove this one. So you should have something like this. And then here, we're going to put a comparator outside of this block. We're going to put redstone dust there, there, and here. And then 1 more torch right here. Oh, and one last thing, we're going to put a redstone dust on top of this piston here. That's basically your module there, completed. So basically now all you have to do from here is from this point here, not the comparator, from this point here, all the way up to the end here, you could just repeat that up to 15 times per lectern. On the one I have 30, I have 2 lecterns. I have 1 there and 1 here. And 1 lectern controls this side, and the other lectern controls this side. I have the 15 here on this side. Then I have it mirrored again over here on this side. I have another 15. I just have it connected through this set of redstone here. You can see here, it's just the same exact thing, just over and over and over again. Up to 15 times. So this lectern here will connect to the 15, and then if you want another lectern on this side, you can just copy this over, run the signal from this lectern alongside this one, just run it down this way and connect it to the other side that you mirrored if you want to do 30 like I did here. I'll show you real quick. So this other lectern here just follows the same pattern as we did the first one. Down here in the bottom, you can see it's literally the same thing. It's this one and this one, this one, this one. It's the same thing. It just crosses over here at this point. And then I have it going all the way back here and connecting to this 15 here. So it's super simple to connect them together. You can mirror this again even if you want, and just do another lectern and connect that lectern up to that 15. So it's super expandable. That's basically how it should look like when you have up to 15 of these. This connection point here could be anywhere from this end here or the far end here, not in the middle. You want to have it on either end. That way the signal could go across properly. You can have it on one end or the other. Now I copied this over behind this station here to show you the item transportation line, just to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to move this here over to this side. It could be on either side. I'm going to have it on this side for now. I'm going to follow the line from the lectern over this way. Just alternate the blocks. There you go. So that's connected. Now before we do this line here, we have to build the water elevator. We have the hoppers facing to the left this way. We're going to put a temporary block at the end of this hopper here. Then put a dropper facing up. Move this temporary block. Put a hopper into that dropper like this. Put a soul sand on top of the dropper. Then we're going to have a block here and here. Then a temporary block underneath that. We're going to put that 3 blocks out. And then 2 blocks here with a block above there and remove this one. Next, we're going to put a comparator here. And then a repeater. 1 more block there. And then put a line of redstone like this. Next, we're going to surround the soul sand with blocks like so. And then this we're going to build up. Now for demonstration, I'm just going to have it at the same level. I'm going to have the other tower. So I'm just going to put it up to that level there. And then here, I'm going to put a block here and connect the other tower, which will be blocks there and there. And then we're going to run this down the line of the mud. Like that. So this is going to be our return system. And this is going to be our sender system. There you go. So now you should have something like this. Now on this side here, you want to break this block, send this out up to here, and go back 3. Oops. Go back 3 from there. Put a block here. That way the water doesn't interfere with the item being able to get pulled into the hopper from this block here. I can show you a quick example. You have water here. Now that you have the water there, it's at its low point here, which allows items to get picked up to this section here. You can just put a sign there and then another water source there. When it empties out again, you put another sign and another water source there. So you should have something like this. And then on this side where you have the soul sand, you want to make sure that each one of these is filled with water. Don't do this, also it won't work. You gotta have each one of these filled with water. So 1, 2, 3, and then back here. All right, so now this side, the side with the soul sand, you want to basically extend this side out to connect to this hopper here. So we're gonna connect this line here. Like that, and then bring the other sides over. Now this side here is connected to the top of this hopper here. Now this side down here, I recommend to use ice. Ice is a bit faster. So these, we just want to connect these over to this end here. This side right here, not this one. We're going to bring this one over. And with this one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put a soul sand where it's going to connect to the top. We're going to put a soul sand here. Surround that by blocks. Like this. You're going to surround this by blocks like this. Leaving the gap on the bottom. Actually, where this gap is, we could go ahead and put a sign there. And then continue this build up. There you go. And now connect the two sides together. We could break this block now and put a sign there. Now, we just want to fill this section up with water all along the top, like we did before. We're going to fill here with water, here. We're going to extend this out one more. So we're going to put a bucket back here. Put one here so they could connect. We could get rid of this one now. And then put a sign here. Put another water bucket there. And this is we want to place the water also to the sending unit. We put a water source there, here. We can remove this one. And then put a sign here. Another water source. Put a sign here. Put a water source here. I'm going to put glass on top. You can put whatever block you want here. I just like putting glass so you can see the item going to and from. Here we go. So that's all covered with glass now. The items shouldn't get sent out over the edges. And now the last thing to do is connect this wire here from the button over to this piston right here. So we can just follow this along this way. You can change this into a lever temporarily if you want to just see where the signal will end. You can put another repeater, or you can just count 15. It doesn't matter. So here we put another repeater because that's 1, and then we follow this across. A block and a redstone torch into the pistons like this. So this signal here should go all the way up the end here, and this would be at a power 1. So it should power all of these pistons here at once. I just went ahead and put the button back, and that's everything connected. That redstone torch there that's on, the only one that's on in that upper row, lets you know what page you're on. So I'm on page 3 now. Let's say I go to page 8. It goes up to there, which is the 8th one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that way you know it works. Now if you see something, when I go up on the pages here, there's a delay that occurs. So if I go ahead and change this all the way up to 13, you see they turn on as they go. That's the reason why we have these redstone repeaters with delays on them. And this only happens when you go up on the pages. It doesn't happen when you go back down, as you can see. So when you go up on the pages, there's that delay. But the delays we have on these repeaters here will counteract that that delay that happens up here. You can fine tune this if you want to. But this way, let's say we select page 10, for example, and you press the button, it'll activate the one that you have currently selected. Right now it's set to this one here. So we're going to bring it back to the first one. Let's go all the way down to page 1. Hit the button here. You can see the first one gets selected. Now here is where the shulkers would be. So to test this part out here, all we have to do is grab a shulker. Forgot to put water down here. Hold on. Here, let's put water here real quick. All right. So make sure you have the water in there, in front of the dropper there. So wherever you have the sign, just make sure you have packed ice or blue ice. That way the item slides through, except for where you have the mud. Where you have the mud, don't put ice there. That should work just fine. So this button is to send and this button is to receive. So we're gonna send this. You can see it go through there, through here. And it pops out right here. And this is the one we selected, which is this torch here. If you follow it through, this is the one that's on. But now, let's say, for example, we wanted to retrieve that one. That's page 12. So let's say we were in page 7, for example. We go to page 12, hit done, and hit this button here. It'll retrieve it. It's sent up here. And it pops out right here. And there you go. But yeah, this is basically the build here. Pretty simple, to be honest. Pretty compact. This is as small as I think you can make it. You could probably go one block further in, to be honest, on this end here. But yeah, this is it. And like I said earlier, you can mirror this build here onto this side to make the 30. You just have to connect it with the other lectern, like I showed you earlier here. So this line here is the other lectern, and that just connects over to the other 15 that I mirrored on the other side, and that gives you 30. So almost forgot one thing. We have to add the note block sound. So it's kind of pick the middle part here. Gonna put 3 amethyst block. This block here is gonna be where the note block sits. So you could change this to whatever sound you want to. Then we're gonna put a skulk sensor facing this way, one facing this way. Then we're gonna have a temporary block there, one temporary block there, another temporary block, another one here. We're gonna put a comparator there with the lectern on here, and another comparator there with another lectern here. Then we want to grab a book with 15 pages as I did earlier. Put one there, put one here. Then we want to set one of these to page 12, and then the other to page 13. There you go. So whenever you place a block, it'll make a noise, and whenever you break it, it'll make a noise. And you can change this to whatever you want. There you go. So from this point on, you can just decorate this as you want. I recommend just covering this section here up like this. At least just cover that part up there. That way the shulker doesn't get sent flying over to these sides. All right, so that's it for today's video. If you liked it, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe if you want to see more. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.